Path to the Ponderosa. The morning after the river crossing, Caleb stood at the water's edge, watching the churning current. His heart was heavy with the knowledge that the posse had turned back. Sheriff Jameson had received urgent word about a robbery and a murder in Virginia City, a crime that needed his immediate attention. So, with a curt nod and a promise to return when the time was right, the posse had ridden off, leaving Caleb standing alone on the muddy banks. He felt the weight of solitude pressed down on him. The sheriff's decision had been right. The posse couldn't afford to waste time. But Caleb couldn't help the gnawing feeling in his gut. Alone, he had no direction. The Carthrights, his father's death, the Ponderosa, it all seemed like a distant dream, slipping further away with every mile he rode. He couldn't turn back now. For days, Caleb continued on alone, the emptiness of the land around him, mirroring the loneliness in his heart. He avoided the towns he passed through, not wanting to meet anyone or talk about the things he could not explain. He only stopped to water his horse and occasionally rest for the night under the stars. Then, one morning, while riding along a narrow trail, Caleb saw a man and a boy up ahead. The man was tall, weathered by years of hard work, with a rifle slung across his back. The boy, his heart skipped a beat, was Tom, the young man from the posse. His familiar face was weary but determined, and when he saw Caleb, his eyes lit up with recognition. "Caleb," Tom called out, waving. "I thought I'd see you out here, but didn't know when." Caleb reined in his horse and dismounted. "What are you doing here?" he asked, surprise and relief flooding through him. Tom smiled, stepping forward. "I'm with my pa now. We're looking to help out where we can. Pa knows a man who might be able to help you, might know something about the Carthrights." Caleb's heart quickened. "You're serious? You know someone who can help?" Tom nodded. "Yeah, my pa's friend, his uncle works for the Carthrights, up at the Ponderosa. He says there's a way in, a way to get information, and he'll take you to him." Caleb felt a spark of hope for the first time in days. "Lead the way." Tom's father, a tall, broad-shouldered man named Hank, gave Caleb a solemn look before speaking. "We've got a place not far from here. I'll take you to him, but you need to know something. This is dangerous. People don't just walk away from the Carthrights without paying the price." Caleb swallowed, the weight of Hank's words sinking in. "I've already lost everything. I'm willing to take the risk." Hank nodded grimly and motioned for Caleb to follow. They rode for several more hours, the trail winding through the dusty land until they finally arrived at a modest cabin nestled between two hills. A faint smoke rose from the chimney, and the air was thick with the smell of pine and fresh earth. Before Caleb could respond, the door creaked open, and inside were two other Chinese men. The oldest one was hunched slightly with age, his face lined with the wisdom of years. His son, middle-aged, followed closely behind him, and behind him was a young boy, barely older than Caleb, his eyes bright with curiosity. The boy stepped forward, his English very broken but clear enough for Caleb to understand. "I'm Jimmy," he said with a shy smile. "This is grandfather, and this is father." He pointed to the older man, then to the middle-aged one, who nodded in greeting. Jimmy's voice softened as he continued. "My uncle, Hop Sing, work for Carthrights. Know many things about them. Will come visit us tomorrow night. You can speak him then." Caleb's pulse quickened. This was it, the connection he needed. Hop Sing was the man who could tell him everything about the Carthrights and what happened to his father. The three men set to preparing the meal, the smell of steaming rice and exotic spices filling the air. They worked in silence, their movements smooth and practiced. As the food was brought to the table, Caleb took his seat, his stomach growling with hunger, but his mind focused on the task ahead. This wasn't just about food, it was about survival, about making it through the labyrinth of lies and shadows to get to the truth. As they ate, Caleb couldn't help but watch Jimmy, who ate with a quiet intensity. The boy didn't seem frightened or uncertain, even though he was surrounded by men whose lives had been touched by the dangerous world Caleb was about to enter. When the meal was finished, Mr. Weiss stood and Hank said, "We should leave soon. It's getting late." Caleb stood too, feeling the weight of the moment. "Tomorrow night, Hop Sing will be here," he repeated, the words sounding almost too good to be true. Jimmy nodded. "Yes, he have information. I know it." With that, Caleb knew he was closer than ever to the truth. The Carthrights were no longer a distant legend. They were a reality he would soon face. And as he prepared to leave, the only thing that remained was the waiting.